Hi, my name is Chris. I'm with Van Vliet Construction, and we're here today installing a Onyx Collection shower. What I want to show you is sort of our process of doing that. One of the steps we take is pretty unique, I think, to most other companies out there installing this product. What we're doing, we use what's called a template jig or shower wall template jig to get the profile of our Onyx Collection panels, shower wall panels that go on the wall. So what we do is we profile your wall, and then we copy that profile onto an Onyx panel before we cut your shower wall panel. I'm going to flip the camera around and I'll show you the jig and kind of walk you through or talk a little bit about how it works, and then I'll show you a little bit. We'll go out into the garage here where we're cutting the panels for this customer. We'll lay the jig out on the panel and show you how we trace out your wall. Then we transfer your wall profile onto that panel so we can cut it to fit. That's our jig up against the wall. It's up against the ceiling here, along the wall, and then down along the shower base. Here's an Onyx Collection base that we just installed. It's got to get cleaned up a little bit too. Normally we keep this cardboard here on top of the base to protect it while we're doing the install. I took it off just to show you the base in the video. Here's a wall panel that's been installed already. This is the subway tile pattern in an iceberg color. And here is the other panel on the right side. And we're going to install some Onyx trim here on this side to cover this end up and match up with our cabinet here and down to the floor. We put a rosin paper on all the floors we work over in the bathrooms just to help protect the floor. Once we're all done, we'll clean all this up, and then all that rosin paper will come off and the floor will be nice and clean. And here's why we made the video here. We want to show you a little bit about how we can profile your wall with this jig. And it comes with set of 4 of these knobs here, and the jig is able to, it's just sort of a straight edge pieces of aluminum that are able to slide in and out and up and down. You can see it's hinged here, and then here is a sort of a tightening knob there and running along our ceiling. So it's because of these hinges and all these pivot points this jig has, we can slide these 2 pieces up and down so that we ensure we can get the top all the way up to your ceiling or to wherever we're profiling to, which is the ceiling in this particular shower, and we can get it all the way down to the base down here. Now what we like to do is place these 2 pieces of cardboard at the bottom, each about 1/8 inch thick, a little less than 1/8 inch, to give us so when we profile and we go out to cut your panel, we have a little bit of wiggle room up and down, and we want that gap at the bottom of an Onyx panel down here. You want about 1/8 inch gap at the bottom of the panel to ensure that you can get some good color match silicone in there, and you get a good amount in there so it stays nice and sealed up once everything's all done. So anyways, we put the jig in place, we push the jig tight to the back wall or whichever wall we're installing up against, and then we tighten each one of these set screws, and now the jig holds, these 2 pieces of aluminum hold tight up against your back wall. We do the same for the top. You see our hinge bolt here. We push the top bar tight to the ceiling and tighten that set screw. Same goes for the bottom. Push the bottom bar tight to the base, or to the cardboard in this case. Tighten that set screw. That leaves us with that just under a 1/4 inch gap over the whole thing before we install that panel. So what I'm going to do, we'll walk out. I'm going to bring this jig out to the garage and cut the shower panel, lay it out, and I'll video that a little bit. stay tuned to the end of the video. We'll show you some finished pictures of this shower, and it is pretty impressive for what it started at to where it's gonna, how it's gonna look once we're all done. You can see here at the ceiling, I don't know if my camera will focus too well, but this was a tiled shower, and this is kind of the old mucky tiled edge here up against the ceiling yet, and we'll get all that covered up and cleaned up, and it'll be looking all nice. And you can just see how this jig lays out this ceiling panel here nice and tight all the way around. Beautiful. Works out great. We got a nice tight corner all the way top to bottom. You want, again, in the corners, you want a little bit of a gap so that you have room for your silicone to get in there and do its job. So, all right, stay tuned. All right, so back again, we're in the garage, and this is how our Onyx panels come out. Come out with this nice thick cardboard, and they're double wrapped, double sided. So there's cardboard on the back, cardboard on the front. What they do is they use this string and they thread it all the way around. So they're kind of tough to open. What we do is we use a sort of a big knife and just kind of get in between the pieces of cardboard here and just start working your way around. What you want to be careful of, the reason I wanted to show this, is you want to be careful not to get too far into the cardboard with your knife, because what you're going to end up doing is potentially scratching that wall panel. So I'll kind of show you here how I do it. I just reach the knife in a little bit and sort of graze that string, cutting around. There we have it. There's our panel. This is the subway tile pattern, again in the ice color. It's got this plastic on it. They'll come out with these wall panel installation instructions. And this is a good thing to hold on to if you're not used to installing these panels, or you don't do a lot of these. They're great. It's a great walkthrough, really quick. It's a 2-page read. It looks like the front here is just your basics on mounting the panels, and then on the back it's your different shower caddies and stuff like that. So yeah, hold on to that and look through it. Definitely read through it if you haven't done one of these before. All right, no. Here's our jig that we had down in the basement. What we're gonna do is set this up. When the panels come out, you'll have a nice finished edge on one side and either the top or the bottom. The other side will be rough cut at the factory. And what you want to do is make sure the rough cut edge is up against your back panel. Sorry. So what I'm going to do is set this up. This was my top, and I'm just going to pull this down to there. And I've got my lines on the outside of where I want the outside of my wall panel to be. So here's my nice finished edge. This would be the left side of the shower that you were looking at in the basement. And it looks like I'm lining up about perfect. Now this is the great thing about using this jig. It just really streamlines the process and makes things really easy. You can see right now I've just set this on. I'm about 20 seconds ago, and I'm ready to mark this panel to cut. So what I'm going to do, I know that my top is nice and it's just perfect. I'm just going to mark this back edge, and this has my wall profile on it, because almost never is a wall perfectly straight. Even in a new construction home, well, you got a lot better chances of that, but any home that's 20 years old or you know, some houses here, we're in Minnesota here in the Twin Cities, St. Paul, Minneapolis, the homes can be 100 years old plus, and you really have a tough time finding a straight wall in those houses. This jig really comes in handy for that. So there we have it. I got my bottom mark, I got my back side marked, the right side of the shower, and then my top here is a factory, nice clean rounded factory edge polished, and my outside edge is a nice polished edge too. So this will look real great once we get it cut and installed. Okay, one quick thing I wanted to show you. We use a jigsaw to cut these panels. I know they say you can use a skill saw, anything with a wood blade. What we use is a jigsaw with a laminate blade. We find that that works best and it makes the cleanest edge. You can use a skill saw, but I would recommend using a sander as well when you're done, just to kind of clean up that edge all the way around. So we're gonna get started. We put some tape on the bottom of our jigsaw here to help protect the panel as we're going. There's a lot of vibration. And okay, so we trace the outside of the jig, right? You saw me do that with the marker. That means I've got to cut my line off. I cannot cut on the outside of my line, preferably not on the inside, or the panel might be short. If I cut on the outside, it might be too tight. So because I used a jig and laid that on the top of the panel here to template the wall, and I traced around it with that marker, because my marker was on the outside of the jig, I've got to cut this line off, if that makes sense. So here we go. It's that easy. This wall panel should fit perfectly. So yeah, all we got to do now is mark out our holes for our shower valves, the shower valve, shower head, and cut those out. We use a 4.5-inch hole saw for the valve, and we use 1.5 inches for the shower head. And yeah, we'll show you what it looks like when we're all done. Okay, so here we are. We're back inside the bathroom, and we've got our panel here, and this is the back side of the panel. So you see it's not polished or anything, it's just kind of roughed up, come from the factory, and no reason to polish that, but at any rate, we're going to put the adhesive on the back of the panel. Now, we use a battery operated gun because we do an awful lot of these, and if you're just installing a shower for yourself or someone you know or something at your own home, I wouldn't go out and get a battery operated gun. You don't need one. We did this for many years without the battery operated gun, and it's just easier and kind of a simpler process for us. There's even some directions on talk about the adhesive here. This is 100% silicone adhesive, and they even write some directions on the adhesive here for applying it to the back of the panel. So here we go. We're going to apply the silicone. We're going to start up in the top corner and just work our way down, keeping that about that 1 inch from the edge. And I'll just work all the way around the perimeter. You can see my rings, they're probably closer than 8 inches apart, and it's better safe than sorry in my opinion. Also, you'll see that I do have lines between each one of silicone, and that won't hurt anything. That's not how Onyx Collection says to install it, but that's the easiest way to do it with one of these battery guns, and they send out plenty of silicone with every shower kit. All right, there we have it. I'm going to take a little bit off this corner. I don't want that to smush out when I put the panel down. This stuff it sets up very quickly. Probably 15 to 20 minutes you have to work with it. After that, it's very hard to get off. So if you get any silicone on anything anywhere other than where you want it, you want to remove it right away. And we do that usually with a little bit of denatured alcohol, and some paper towels will take the silicone off of anything you get it on. Now we'll go ahead and set the panel. And we'll show you what a good fit this is with using that shower wall jig. So I'll place my bottom first. And I still have my cardboard spacer down on the bottom there. And I'll just simply tip it into place. You might get a little bit of a rub on the ceiling. What you want to do is just sort of lift out on the center here and just place that ceiling, or place that top into place on the ceiling. Now we got her nice and tight. What I'm going to do is remove one of these pieces of cardboard down here at the bottom, and that's going to make it a little bit easier to go in. And there we go. One thing to mention about the silicone, it has a very strong odor. If you're sensitive to smells, a good thing to do is wear a dust mask. That helps a lot. We have some here, and that I normally wear them, but we're doing the video, so and it's a very strong odor. So good idea to, if anyone in the home is sensitive to odors, when you're installing this, to tell them to either go on another level of the house or something like that. But yeah, so that's it. You can see it's a super snug fit. Looks great, and we're happy. Hey, so we're back. We've installed our shower panel here. You see we've got our cap trim on this side, and we've got cap trim on this side over here. Now what we're doing, we're putting in our color match silicone in our corners. So I wanted to show you what it is we do to get this nice and smooth. In this spray bottle is denatured alcohol, and you can buy that in a jug like this at your local hardware store or home improvement store. Some automotive stores might carry it. But, okay, so what we do, we got our denatured alcohol. We apply our silicone. This is our color match silicone here on the icicle color. We applied our silicone, and you can see here, it's nice and smooth up here. Here it's still gobby yet. That's where I originally applied it. And then here has been smoothed. So this area I haven't smoothed out yet because I wanted to show it in the video. What we do, we put on the silicone. Make sure that the silicone, as you're applying it, as it's coming out of the tip of the gun, touches both wall panels. There's no air gaps between the silicone bead and either panel at any point. What we do is we put the silicone on, we got our denatured alcohol, our little silicone removal and application tool. You can buy these on Amazon, and I think most hardware stores will carry them as well. Get yourself a good wad of rags, plenty of them. This isn't enough to do this whole shower. I will go through an entire roll of paper towels in just one shower easily. We got our silicone applied. Next, what we do, be liberal with the how much denatured alcohol you apply over the top of the silicone. Once you do that, you take your silicone application tool and just smooth it off, just like that, nice and smooth. A lot of people use their fingers. We don't like doing that. Fingers, they do a good job and get a nice clean looking line. Looks good, it's very pretty. But what happens is, on your fingers and your hands, you have bacteria on your hands. So if that gets into the silicone, what can happen is mildew can grow in it, and that's not good. You don't want a nice new shower like this with black looking mildew around the base of your shower and in the corners and all your silicone. So we do a very good job cleaning up. We wipe everything down with denatured alcohol before we apply the color match silicone, and make sure everything's nice and clean and sanitized before we begin this process. So again, I just take it in about a 10-inch to a 1-foot section. You can see I got plenty of silicone on the application tool. And I just wipe it off with a rag, grab a new rag. Another 10 inches to 12 inches, something like that. Don't be afraid to go over it a couple times to make sure you get it nice and smooth. Just double check everything, make sure you don't have any spots where you missed. And there you have it. That's the easiest and cleanest way to apply silicone in a shower, hands down. And you'll have a good looking product for years to come. In fact, these showers are guaranteed for a lifetime. We install a ton of these. Our customers love them. We love them. I have them in my own house. And yeah, it's just an all-around great product. Guaranteed for life and made in America. So that's the Onyx Collection. Okay, so I'm back. By the way, normally we replace control valve handles, shower heads, shower head arms, just on every single shower, every tub surround, every tub replacement, every bathroom remodel. The only reason we didn't on this project, our customer wanted to keep the shower handle and the shower head. They like them, and hey, I'm all about it. If they want to keep them and they like them, then that's good. They got something they like, so. All right.